Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Paving the Ways podcast. Today we have a beautiful guest on, Freya Savage. Freya, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Me and Freya met it must have been about 10 months ago now, because we met just right after I'd shaved all of my hair off on a nudist beach in Thailand, and we got talking, and then we ended up having lots more wonderful conversations. So I thought we're feeling really excited to have you on the show. So from the time that we've known each other, I've kind of had a small insight into how exciting and adventurous and rebellious your life can be. But for the listeners, can you give people an idea of what a day in the life of Freya could look like?
Firstly, I love that you call me rebellious, because now I think I remember that day when we met on the nude beach and I was just laying there. Maybe there was some men involved, like heckling me or something. I don't know. Was that right? But
They
I
were
can't
trying to
really.
take photos.
Oh, they were trying
So
to
I
take
came
photos of
over.
me. And you came over also nude. I think you were nude as well. Maybe you weren't. I think you were nude. And you just came over to me and you're like, those guys are taking photos of you. I'm like, hi, who are you? And you're like, I just shaved off all my hair. Do you want to see it? I'm like, sure. And you showed me your hair. And then no, you
I
had a
think that
hair
was when I
tie.
was throwing it away.
That was later. You were throwing it away, and then you showed me your hair. No, that's right.
Throwing it away.
You had just shaved your hair off, and you had a hair tie on your wrist. And I was interested in the hair tie, because I was like, do you know how hard it is to find hair ties in Asia? And you're like, here you go, you can have my hair tie. I thought, wow, this woman, she's special.
Yeah,
and we bonded.
Yeah, we did. And then I think you're thinking of when we climbed up Khao Ra, which we so often did, and I threw my hair into the wind from the top of a mountain, but it ended up kind of looking like
that's right, someone had died or been hacked. There was just like hair flying in the bushes and stuff. Wow, this was so funny. Oh my god, we're such hippies, right?
Yeah.
To take your hair up to the top of the mountain so you can give it back to Mother Earth. Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's probably
beautiful.
Still there now, undecayed.
Yeah, it's probably still there. I love these conversations. We always had such interesting conversations, and I had no idea where they were going to go. And kind of like before you pressed record, you were like, I don't know where this is going to go. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Who knows? And I guess that's part of being not rebellious. It's not rebellious in the sense of trying to do the opposite of the traditional, or trying to do the opposite of societal. It's nothing to do with that. It's not about pushing against anything. It's about going with whatever turns me on, which often is not the societal stuff. Sometimes it is, but often it's not. And so then it can come off as rebellious, because of course, not so much anymore, but there is pushback, because people are like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it like that? It should be like this, or it should be, this is how you should live your life, or this is how you do things. And so it does take some effort. And I guess there can be some pushing. And so maybe this can seem rebellious, because there is kind of a resistance, in a way. But I now feel like I'm in a place in my life where I don't have that anymore, because I don't even need to say no. I don't even need to say to people, I'm not available for this anymore, because it's an energy that I have, and I just don't get it anymore. It's kind of like, when you have this, like, it's more than a resting bitch face, but I kind of carry this around with me often, because I don't really want to have conversations with people anymore unless I know them, unless I really get turned on by them. So I'm not even available for this. So people don't talk to me, which I love. And whereas it used to be I'm working right now, someone would come up to me, oh, I can't speak right now, I'm working. Or even before that, I would just have this conversation with somebody thinking I don't want to be talking to them, I've got other shit I want to be doing, but yet I'd be talking. So I don't know how I kind of got off track, but I think it's more, all of this is, it's more of an energy of just, when you have this energy of being sure within yourself and flowing with the turn on, then there is no resistance, there's no rebellion, there isn't even anybody trying to give you advice, there isn't anybody crossing your boundaries. I mean, sometimes it happens, but it's not a big deal anymore. I don't get in my head about it. What should I say back to this person? Maybe I'll offend them, da da da. It's just like, no. And I don't even justify myself sometimes, you know. It's kind of, it can even be entertaining. Now I actually use this sometimes to create, to inspire me, rather than being like, oh no, I've offended somebody. It's like, oh, okay, this is kind of exciting. This is something I've bumped up against, and it can inspire rather than using it as an obstacle, you know, and then like, oh, okay, I redirect my path. No, I stay on my own path of what turns me on, and other people don't redirect me. So you asked me what I do in a day. What I do in a day, it's very fluid now. I used to be very disciplined. I feel like this is important to say, so you kind of get a sense. I used to run ultra marathons. I worked in finance for 10 years. I had in my diary, I had blocks of 10 minutes. Like if I had 10 minutes, I would be using it for something. I would teach yoga at lunchtime. I would run, or I'd be running, going to running training at lunchtime. I would even run to work, and then I'd run home, and sometimes I'd do running at lunchtime as well. And I was teaching yoga. I was working in finance. I was doing a postgrad in finance, and I still had a social life. I would drink a lot, take a lot of drugs. And it was kind of very fast paced. You know, I would never be spending a night, you know, a few hours by myself. Oh my God, no way. What a waste of time that would be. Even my meditation, I had a morning routine always, because, you know, Tim Ferriss and these people said, this is the way to be productive. I had the morning routine to be productive for the rest of my day, not for the pleasure of having the routine. So I had a very regimented morning routine as well, you know, did the things, meditation, pranayama, my own yoga practice, you know, I did all these things, but it was for an outcome. And so now the way that I live my life is, as I said, I really follow this turn on of what am I being directed to do right now in this moment? And it doesn't always mean that it's easy. Like just before I got on here, I went to the gym. It wasn't convenient because I knew this was booked in. So I knew I'd have to message you telling you I was going to be 10 minutes late. I had just had cake with a friend. So I knew my stomach wouldn't be like feeling 100%. But this is what I was directed to do. Go to the gym and do sprints. I was like, really? And I was like, do them at 3:15 pace, which is, I don't use a metric system, right?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's fast.
Either.
I do it at like a very fast pace, you know. I was like, what? No, like I've got this on. No, I just ate cake. No, do this. Okay. So, and it's a different voice. It's like this voice of the turn on. It's not one that's doing it for an outcome. It's one that does it for pleasure, but it doesn't mean this instant gratification like McDonald's pleasure. You know, it's like the pleasure of like, I'm gonna feel alive. I feel fucking alive. You know, that kind of pleasure. Not like, oh, I sit and watch Netflix all day in bed, which is also great sometimes. I mean, I don't generally get directed to do this unless it comes from this place of trying to hide from life. Sometimes I might get directed to do this, but there's a distinct voice, you know, that differentiates between the two. So what I do in a day is I follow my turn on, and I do it to a T. I mean, sometimes I get in my head about it and I say, yeah, but I should do this and this first. Or, oh yeah, but I made plans with this person or whatever. And so then I'll do the thing that I think I should do. And then I remember afterwards, why the fuck am I doing that? Like, why do I do this? I go back to what turns me on. And normally what turns me on is I still have a morning, like my morning is for me. Like I don't take any bookings. I don't speak to any clients or anything until at least 10 a.m., often 11 a.m. I won't put anything in my calendar. And this time is just for me to do whatever I want. Normally it's moving my body, you know, cleaning myself out, mouth, you know, my tongue and all these, like my internal, cleaning myself out physically so I can clean myself out mentally as well. Journaling, writing, so I can get that out. But it's not like, oh, I have to do these things in order to be me. I now also feel comfortable that if I don't meditate, that I'm still okay for the day. I'm still able to be present. If I don't get 8 hours sleep, rather than being like, oh, I get up at 6 a.m. or whatever, I just stay in bed if I want to stay in bed. Or sometimes I even go to the gym, and if I still feel tired, and if I feel tired and it's 10 a.m., I just go back to bed and I just sleep. If I feel tired, if I know that I'm not going to be able to sleep, but I still feel tired, I say, okay, well, today you're tired. It's okay. Rather than being like, oh, today's ruined. I wait for tomorrow to live my day. You know, I really I want to be alive in each moment. Like this is I guess my objective, if I could say, in life, is I want to feel alive in each moment. And so I'm directed from this. And normally it looks this way, but if it doesn't, then that's okay as well. But normally it looks like cleaning myself out physically, cleaning myself out mentally, emotionally, writing down my dreams or whatever, or journaling, moving my body, which I feel like is which is a physical and an emotional kind of clean in the morning. I like to sweat a lot. And then normally I will do some writing. I normally get very fired up about what I do, because the place that I'm living right now in Bali, in Canggu, there's a lot of people here who are, bless them, but they're here to make money, which is fine. I'm all about that. But I'm about soul, you know, about being an artist, not about drop shipping or about multi-level marketing or this soul crushing stuff that's for an outcome. Unless, of course, that turns you on, then sure. But I just feel like these people, and I don't really give a shit at all, but I can feel it in myself. If I was to do this, because I did do this when I worked in finance, I pause my life right now for some future benefit, some future result that of course never happens, because you're chasing a carrot, you're on a fucking hamster wheel. And I know you can make money doing your soul work, being an artist, being you. I know you can. I do it. And so I see other people and I think, oh my God, they're fucking torturing themselves, you know, in this incessant trap. So when I go to the gym, I overhear conversations and they're great inspiration. You know, people talking about cryptocurrency, and this, I'm very against cryptocurrency, by the way, which I think I'm the only person in the spiritual world. I'm the only person in the spiritual world that has a fucking finance degree. But I'm the only person that I know of, and I'm the only person, and I don't even like this word spiritual world, and I'm the only person who's against crypto. And I think these people, they're fucking listening to tantra teachers and life coaches on how to invest their money. It's so crazy to me. See, I get fired up, which is great. So I get triggered by this, which is great inspiration for me then to write. This is what I was saying before about the rebellion or like this resistance. I use it as inspiration, because then I have something to fucking write about, which is great. If my life was super cruisy, which it is, but if I had nothing, you know, coming in that was agitating me, then what I write is not so exciting to me. You know, it's not like, oh, I've got something to share, you know, listen up here, you idiots. I mean, I speak very condescendingly as well in the way that I write. Very kind of aggressively, I've been told. But yeah, so normally I write and I fall in love again with what I do every day when I do this. And it reminds me of why I do what I do. Because to be honest, I'm not interested in finance at all. It bores the shit out of me. I couldn't give a fuck about strategies. I couldn't give a fuck about companies. I do not care. It's really not exciting to me. The thing that's exciting to me is what it provides, which is it provides space. It provides you a space to be the artist. It provides you with opportunities to live your life, to feel alive. I see so many people doing things just for money, and yeah, they're not living, you know, they're waiting to live. And so I see what I do as kind of a as one modality that allows people more space for them to be them. It's nothing to do, like I said, I don't care about the strategies or anything. So this is why I teach people, hey, it gets to be simple. You know, this is actually how, you know, and especially for women tend to have less assets than men. And that means that they tend to be very reliant on others, which also can mean that they can kind of get trapped. And this is not what I want. You know, I want more people to be free. So then I can stop listening to these conversations in the body factory. I want more people to be free. So I have more friends that I can go on holiday with, you know, when we can holiday, and kind of like go to nice restaurants with, and to like experience things with, rather than it being like, oh, I can't because of money. I want it for selfish reasons. So I don't have to listen to this shit. And so I can have more people to do things that I want to do with. And because it feels shit when the people around you are in neurosis and they're in stress and they're in worry, you know, people you love and people you care about, and you can feel it. And I don't want that. I don't want that for them, because I don't like the way that makes me feel. So it's totally for a selfish reason why I do what I do. And so then it makes me fall in love again with what I do, because I think, oh my God, this stuff's bullshit. You know, why the fuck am I talking about finances and money? You know, there's so much more to life than this. But many people are focused on it, and they get zoned in on it, and then they forget everything else. So I feel like my job is to teach people how to set things up, how to automate things, how to invest, how to build wealth in a way that's sustainable, so they can have that all automated, so then they can focus on doing whatever the fuck they want to do and living their life. So yeah, I fall back in love with what I do. And then I normally spend my afternoon eating cake. And I find somewhere, like there's a few places that I like to go and eat. So I sit and have cake. I'm falling in love right now. Oh my God, I can't remember I said that out loud. So sometimes I make love in the afternoon. Today I had like a beautiful love making session. And sit by the pool or go to the beach. And then I will normally go for a run or back to the gym. I normally work out twice a day. It sounds kind of crazy, but it feels so good for me. And I do like these more short workouts. And I feel like, you know, one's for my mind, one's for my body, even though they're both for both. But I normally do something in the afternoon, because I sit down for a lot of the day as well. And then I go to the sauna, the spa, and normally have dinner with a friend and read a great book in the evening. And that's kind of what my day looks like. I mean, I have projects going on. Like I have a fashion label that I just started, and I have the samples made now. They're in front of me. They look amazing. So I'm also about, you know, playing. Like I have a piano that I've been learning piano. I have a singing coach. I started to do all the things that I wanted to do when I was a little girl. And so I do this as well. I have like pencils, and I have a canvas in front of me as well. And yeah, I love to create. I love to be in play mode, you know. And sometimes I have a client session. I only work with a small amount of people one-on-one. I only work with 4 clients at a time, one-on-one, because I like to have this freedom and this space, you know. So then I can just follow whatever turns me on. Sometimes I go on adventures or whatever, you know. I love to follow this whatever the day, whatever the moment is asking for, and to have the space to say yes to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, amazing. There's so many parts of that where I was like, oh, I want to ask more, but I'll save the lovemaking questions for after.
I mean, you can share. We can talk about them now if you want. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Well, all I'm thinking is the last time we spoke about your partner was in Australia.
This is actually great. I'm glad you brought this up.
Okay.
because this is about, for me, this is the ultimate following the turn on.
Yeah.
And, you know, saying no, because it's not about saying yes to everything. That's, for me, that's not fucking living. That's sacrifice. That's compromise. That's like kind of being a horny teenage boy, you know, like, oh, I do as many things as I can to fill up my day. Or, you know, I see as many people as I can because I can't bear to be with myself. Or I eat this food because it's the best thing I can get. You know, I just think, my God, why would you do that? You know, like, why would you not do things for pleasure that really excite you? Otherwise, say no. And so my partner and I, he's a beautiful man. We were together for 6 years. Not that time really matters. I don't know why I say that. I think that there's some honorary thing going on there. Like, oh yeah, I'm a secure person. Look, I can have a relationship for 6 years. Or I don't know what it is, something like this. Or maybe it's like, you know, it's just say like, oh, it was a serious relationship. You know,
Give
like
some context.
Yeah.
A whole load of assumptions
Right.
can then be thrown
Yeah.
onto it.
Right, which is kind of hilarious because you can have a very deep relationship in a minute. You know, it's got nothing to do with time. But we hadn't seen each other for a year because of COVID, and it was never quite right. Like, on the list, yes, right. You know, beautiful, very generous, very kind, very beautiful, gorgeous looking, very athletic, intelligent, lawyer, you know, interested in the same things I was interested. Like, we got along really well. We had a business together. He loved me so much, adored me, would do anything for me. How amazing is that? But it didn't turn me on. It didn't. And I ended it a few times, about 3 times. And he's super stubborn, and he would, you know, convince me otherwise. And then I'd be like, yeah, I'm such an idiot. Why would I end this? You know, and I'd be in my, you know, when you make a decision, you say no to something, and then afterwards you think, what the fuck did I do that for? Because then you start freaking out. You start thinking, oh my God, I've lost this amazing thing. I'm never going to have this again. And so then you go back to it. And you know that it's not quite, you know, it's not 100. Maybe it's like 90. And you're like, yeah, okay, I go back to it. You know, because you don't quite believe that you get to have it all. And so then I came to Bali and we were going to meet here. And then some stuff happened with the visa or whatever, and he wasn't able to get in. And I thought, my God, I can't do this again. You know, more time without seeing him. And anyway, there was something in me that maybe was kind of relieved. Okay, now I have a reason. And I thought, and then I said, no. You know, we stayed together. We wait until we see each other, and then we'd see how it unfolds. The next morning I woke up, and like I said, you know, I have a morning routine. I normally don't turn my phone on or anything until like, 10 or 11, because I don't want to have anyone else's stuff, anyone else's content or anything coming into my mind. I like it to just be clean and pure and me. And I woke up and I had this voice, which is this turn on voice, the commanding voice, but the one that I follow, the one that I trust beyond anything else. And it says, today you end it with Chris. What? No. And this is what it said. Same thing. End it. And I'm like, okay, right now. I call him, message him. And I thought, I can't break up with somebody over a fucking text message. You know that I've been dating for 6 years. Message him. It's not a conversation. It's a decision. I'm like, okay. I turn my phone on and I message him. And the voice wrote the message for me. Like, it was so clean. And it was so clear. And it was something like, you know, I could tell you why, but it's not important. Because it's not. Like, of course, someone will want to know why, but he already knew, he would already know anyway. And it's really not important. When you've made a decision, you don't need to justify yourself, even to someone you've been in a 6-year relationship with. Sure, it's probably a nice thing to do, but if I didn't have the capacity for that, and I knew that if I got into this conversation again, the same cycle would happen, So I also said, I block you from everything, because it needs to be clean and clear. We don't hold space for each other. We don't tell each other how we're feeling. It's like we cut it clean so we can heal. And so that's what happened. And that was like 2.5 months ago. And it felt so clean to do it this way, to not hold space for somebody like that. Like, it was so clean. And this is what I've started to do, actually. I stopped holding space for people. People are like, oh, it's important to hold space for your friends and your lovers and whatever. No, I don't think so. I mean, for me, I feel like it's kind of a swampy place. It can be a swampy place. It can aggravate more drama, more stories. Whereas when you hold it in like I'm not taking part in that, then you give them the opportunity to meet you in a higher space. And when I say high, I don't mean like hierarchically. Yeah. What I mean is a place of seeing clear, seeing high up, like an eagle, having perspective, to see that none of it really matters. And you give them the opportunity for this. Whereas when, you're really not allowing, but you're really meeting somebody in their drama and their stories, you kind of go into it with them. Like I can feel it. Like when I'm with somebody and they're in this, and I want to be there for them, and so I go in with it into it with them. Listening to the stories and all the stuff. They never feel good afterwards. I don't fucking feel good afterwards. So I've stopped doing this, and it's been pretty amazing. Like the relationships that I have now called into my life are unimaginable. Like the quality of people and the connections that we have, like, we're seeing each other sharply. Yeah, it's not that we're not vulnerable, it's that we're even more truthful, because we have this broad perspective and we're not holding space for each other in each other's dramas. But it's not that we don't keep anything from each other, it's just that we're spacious. So we're clean and clear when we meet. And this is the same that I do with my clients. We're clean and clear, and it's very empowering to meet somebody in this way. And so that's kind of what I felt like with Chris as well. Like, it can seem cold, but it gives somebody the opportunity to find that space within themselves, when you kind of don't engage in those narratives.
So then how did you process the breakup? If you had emotional days, would you hold space for yourself? Would you ask someone else?
Yeah. So this is the interesting thing, because this was a great experiment. I didn't need to process it, because it was clean, and because I let it, like, I kept inviting myself to this place, where the eagle is. And it's not that I didn't honor the relationship, because I did, and I do. And I think, what did I do? I went to the beach that day. I actually threw some rocks on the ground because my friend said this is a great exercise, got angry, whatever. And that's kind of fun. but I thought, I don't need to do this. I didn't like, it kind of felt a little bit dramatic. And yeah, I kind of just, I didn't need to process it anymore. It's kind of, you know, it's also the way that I deal with past trauma, let's say. I definitely, you know, I do shadow work and these types of things. And I mean, I've never been into Reiki or anything like this, but I also find it kind of, I'm just going to say, yeah, I find it kind of swampy, like a little bit like, a little bit, of course, I think there's amazing healers out there, but I find it kind of disempowering, you know. I don't know. Yeah, I find it also, you know, going back into these childhood stories, I see people, because I lived in Ubud, Kopagan, people in incessant healing loops of processing. Imagine, okay, if you think about it like this, you need to process everything that's traumatic. Fucking hell, we spend our entire life processing and not living. Because every day there's small traumas, you know, someone beeps at you, or like, you know, there's constant stuff. And it's not about pushing it under the rug, but when you're fully present in the moment, you forget about all your baggage. You're so spacious that it just flies into the sky and it doesn't hit anything. You know, it's not there. And it becomes kind of irrelevant doing all this processing and healing when you're present and when you are here in the moment. So yeah, I don't know if I vocalized that so well, because it's something that I'm really glad you asked this question, because it's so interesting to me, but it's something I haven't really spoken about. So this is kind of the first time that I've vocalized it out loud. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm just wondering if, like, for people listening, if they're thinking like, oh, I think that's me, like I am stuck in these incessant, like,
Yeah,
next course, next thing, like soon one day I'll be okay. What
yeah,
does like a more spacious, clean, clear kind of way of being
totally.
actually look like?
Yeah. So what I would say is there are two types of people listening to this. There is one type that will get defensive about what I'm saying, and they will say, no, you need to heal all this stuff. You know, you go and do plant medicine, you go and do like all the things, like you have to deal with this stuff. And the defenses come up. And so I'm not talking to these people. I'm talking to the people who can feel some truth in what I'm saying. Because it's only them who are going to understand. It's only them who are, I don't want to say ready, because that also sounds like as if they're more advanced than others, which is not the case. It's just, it's a different way of looking at things, being like, you know, I'm done with that. I know that there is an easier way. I know that there is something more simple. I know there is a way for me to meet life and to be present in it. I know there's more to life. I know that, you know, if I stop holding on so tightly to this idea that I need to be healed, if I stop holding on so tightly to this control of how my life must look, then the unimaginable can come in. And so the way to do that is saying no to everything that is not, that doesn't get you wet, like, and trusting that you don't need to fill yourself up with that stuff or those people or that job or whatever. You know, you say no. And when you say no, this automatically brings you into this place, you know, I use this eagle, this higher place, this higher self, where you have this perspective, because you're not attached to anything anymore. You don't, and I'm not saying you don't get attached to people or anything like this, or, you know, you don't feel anything, but you no longer, you get practiced at seeing that you don't need anything. And then when you're at that space, you attract people, opportunities, things that are way greater than you could ever imagine. When you were down here holding tightly onto everything in the incessant healing loop, trying to get all your ducks in a row, you have no fucking space. You're not attracting high quality people into your life when you're there. You can't. You're not attracting high level relationships. Everything's kind of swampy, everything's kind of dramatic, like money's hard to come by, clients are, like they're hard to come by, everything feels difficult, you feel like you need to work really hard at it. Even your body, the way you exercise, it's like a pain in the ass to like go to the, like you need to be motivated. These are the people who ask me, how do I become motivated and inspired? That's because you're down here. If you're here saying no and following your turn on, you don't need to be fucking motivated or inspired. It's effortless. And like I said, it doesn't mean you don't go to the gym and sweat your ass off and feel like you're going to collapse after you do sprints or whatever. No, it's not that. It's an effortless in the sense of you know exactly what to do because you're being commanded by the turn on and you're saying no to everything else. And so it becomes very simple and very spacious. And then you're not in these stories looping about the past or about this person or that person, or how can you manipulate the situation so it turns out the way you want, or how can you get this client, how can you get more money, You're not in this anymore because you can see that none of it really fucking matters and that it's all like a game. And it's not that you're playing games with anybody or being manipulative. No, it's that you're just playing a game of life. You're following what feels exciting. Exciting is also the wrong word because that also sounds like, this teenage boy who's like super excitable. More like what kind of gets your juices flowing. And then when you do that, life stops becoming, you stop being in survival mode. And then you stop feeling like you need to heal yourself. And you realize, oh, I can let go of this stuff. And then your experiences, you stop talking about them in a way that's trauma, and instead you can speak about them in a way that's kind of wisdom, or maybe even a way that's humorous, maybe even a way that's art. And you can even start to look at your life as art, as a great masterpiece, of colors and flavors and textures, rather than, oh, I need to rub this out, that was a terrible experience, or yeah, I need to fix this and to rewrite that. Instead, to look at it and be like, yeah, it's already done, it's already out of me, it's not me anymore, it's not me, it never was me, I'm just a channel, a conduit for that, and it's out of me.
That was so beautiful. Yeah, I had so many thoughts throughout that again, but then I was really I always get so captivated when you speak. I think what you were saying something about if people don't like it, then this is not for them. And often I find that people leave, say, I don't know, the finance world or the world that they were born into, and then they find all these things like spirituality and medicine and stuff, and they kind of go with the same mindset. And I did this too at some points. I think I was always quite a questioner, but you can hear about these new things, you're like, oh wow, and you just kind of accept it and listen to everything that you hear, like they do with the adverts on the mainstream TV. And I think it takes a great deal of discernment to figure out what is right for you as an individual, because even if your friends and your community are doing one thing, it is that, for me, constant checking in, like, do I want this? Do I agree with this? Is this good for me? And I think that's a huge part of like building the life that you want, is A, kind of displaying discernment, but B, also leaning into the things that are actually serving you in the best way.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. Totally. Exactly. And it comes down to the really small things as well, you know, like even, okay, I'll give you another example. Like even in Ubud, people love to give long hugs. And I used to just accept them and be like, okay, I hugged for a long time as well. Maybe I can see if I can enjoy this. Like, and also people that you just meet, you know, and like they also gaze
Yeah.
into your eyes for a long time, like this uncomfortable length. And I think you guys are so inauthentic. Like, I mean, it's so humorous. I'm like, you're like you're rebellious, but you're actually trying to fit in with everybody else in this spiritual world, you know. And then I started to do this thing where I just pat them very quickly on the back, you know, like, okay, this is not enough, you know, this. Oh, and if someone eye gazes with me, I just look away and I just go and do something else. Like I just move along. And now, actually, what I do is nobody hugs me anymore, except for the people who I'm really close with, because I have this nope, you know, this energetic no, I'm not available for that. These like, I'm not available for this stuff that feels inauthentic, you know, that feels like it feels so, it's just going from one paradigm to a fucking nother. This is how we
Yeah.
do things. We sit and we, you know, like this is how we now live our life. These are the steps. It was like this and now it's like this because now we're free and now we're breaking free of the paradigms. You guys are you're doing the same fucking thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I
And I
see.
think,
Go on, sorry.
yeah, go on.
No, you got it. Okay.
No, I think yours is,
I've seen this a lot in communities that I've lived in, where it's like, okay, we're all kind of away from society and we're going to live our own way and we're going to be free, but you can't drink alcohol and you can't do this and you can't eat meat. And it's like, okay, so suddenly there's like these same amount of rules. They're just kind of different to the ones before. So am I free? Is this all inclusive, or is this like, are you telling me how I need to live?
right. It's hilarious when you look at it like that, right? It's fucking hilarious. And so this is what I just see so much bullshit, you know, and I think this is, you know, to have this space and to be at this place of like where you are attracting these high level relationships, clients, money, whatever into your life, you've got to have your bullshit meter on and trust it. And it's not about judging other, I mean, that can be fun as well. I also think, yeah, we're going to be judgmental. It's who we are, you know. There's some to have this humor in it, you know. It can be quite funny and entertaining. But to like, yeah, just like trust yourself, trust. And this is kind of cliche, but to really trust it and to be comfortable saying no, because there are other people out there who are saying no, and you'll only find them in the no space if you also say no. And these are the people generally, you know, that I have found that you have very beautiful relationships with, where you see each other very sharply. You know, you can't fucking see someone sharply when you're in Ubud giving them 3-minute hugs and staring into your eyes. You think you're having a soul connection. That's not a fucking soul connection. That's some stuff you learned in a few workshops and you feel like this connects you. And sure, it does, maybe on a superficial level, but it's very forced, you know. And to not force it, to that it will come into your field, this exactly more than what you can imagine, if you have the space. And you only can have the space if you say no. And you don't even need to be clearing space anymore. You don't need to be going through your old shit and your old trauma and your old pain or anything like this. When you're in the sky, there are no walls there. There's nothing for you to clean out or clear out. That you can throw paint up against, you know, around, painting around. and it doesn't stick to anything because you're not in a house. But when you have your walls, you know, when you're in a house and you know, you're like have all these rules about this is how I interact, even with relationships. These are the kind of people, this is what I'm about. This is the kind of people that I attract into my life. You know, like let's say it's a man, for example. He must be generous, he must be kind, he must, you know, be passionate, whatever. You don't fucking know, actually. Like someone who just, it's the energy that matters. Someone could come into your life who looks nothing like that, and they could blow up your life in the best way. But if you have these walls up, these rules, you know, even the morning routine, even, you know, how you do business, oh, this is how I run my programs, or, you know, whatever. Like if you have these walls up, you're not in the sky. Things stick. You're contained yourself. So even the way that I do my program. So you're in the wolf pack, right? You're still in that? Yeah. So even in this, so this is like a monthly mentorship, that it's like super low cost, and I do master classes each month in it. And you know, I initially started with, okay, I do it at these times, like each month, like on this day, this time. And I was like, that doesn't feel good. I just want to do it when I want to do it. And I spoke to my mentor about it, and she's like, you know, I always find it more useful to do it at a certain time, a certain day, so people know that it's coming up. And then I was like, nah, I don't do it like that. You know, I break down the fucking walls. Like I do it the way that I want to do it. And if I set up a container for even a program or whatever, and that doesn't turn me on anymore, I'll blow it up. I'll stop it, because I do it for myself first and foremost. And the thing is, if it doesn't turn me on, it ain't going to turn anyone else on. And to remember that in everything you do, like if you're not feeling juicy from it, blow that shit up and trust the space. Trust that the sky, even though it's so spacious, it's so full. You know, that's what fills you up, being in the fucking sky. But it's not for everybody. You know, like this is why already, you know, we have so many people who look for security and safety. They want to get married, they want to have a contract. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, when you know, you know. But many people put these contracts in places, these walls in place to find security. And they're looking for it outside of themselves. And when they do that, they can put themselves in a cage. They want to take a picture of life and okay, I keep it exactly like this photograph. You can't take you can take a picture of life, but it's very two-dimensional. It's flat. It has no life and it has no juice in it. You know, it's very steady and still. Yeah, you know you're going to get the same thing tomorrow as what you got today. Great. So you get your security. For me, I think, what the fuck's the point of that? Like, sure, have structures. This is also what I teach, you know, with the money stuff. And even with business, it's important, I think, to have structures and these kinds of and things in place that are automated, and, you know, they give you, they kind of, maybe they clean your wings, you know, if you're an eagle or something like this. They allow you to fly. They you know, they support you, but they support you in flying, not restrict you. You know, they don't pull you down. And so rather than taking a photograph and trying to keep things as they are, what does this mean? What's our future? What label are we going to put on this, you know, in a relationship? So what are we now? Where is this going? Like, you're fucking killing it. You're killing it. Even with your business, you know, you kill it if you're like, you know, so restricting what it can be. And it doesn't mean that I don't have a vision, but it's that I don't hold on tightly to it. And it's something that I say, my desires and me remembering my future. But I also know that my desires are generally only based off what I can imagine and what I've experienced in the past. So I'm also available to blow them up if I get a turn on, that's even bigger than that, and I only follow that.
I have this image of you like in a huge desert with one of those things, like, yeah.
What things?
Oh, the I don't know what you'd even call it. You push down and everything blows up.
Oh yeah, like dynamite.
Yeah, like a dynamite machine.
Yes. I'm wearing a cat suit. I'm wearing like a PVC cat suit doing this with like high heels.
It's
And
not so sound friendly.
not sound friendly, but it looks good.
Exactly.
Production, this is number one importance.
Yeah.
And I can see this. Yeah, I feel it. I like it.
I was going to ask you if you had anything to share, but you kind of answered the next question I was going to ask. So I feel like that's a great place to wrap it up. Do you have anything that you would like to say to the audience, maybe that of like thinking, wow, or like I want to live life in this way, but I have no idea how to take the first step? Do you have anything to speak to?
Yeah, for sure, that it's not a step. there are no steps. That
Yes.
It's a decision, and it's a decision to let go of trying to control everything. It's a decision of letting go of needing your life to even look like whatever you want it to look like. And when you follow the turn on in each moment, the outcome of where it's leading you to kind of becomes irrelevant, And so then it's no longer, I want my life to look like this. It's, oh, my life is exactly as I want it right now. Whether it's that you're playing a game with a friend, and you're like chasing each other around the house, or whether it's you're reading a book, or whether it's you're writing for work, or, you have a client session. It's not like, oh, I'm doing this to get to there. It's a matter of deciding right now to step into that energy. And it's available right fucking now. Like, yes, maybe in the physical form, it doesn't look the way that you imagined it, but stop needing life to be the way you imagined it, because you're so limited. We're so limited with our imagination. It can be even more incredible than you could ever imagine if you just fly, and you already know how to fly. You just break the walls down. And don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to blow shit up.
Yes, I love that. It reminds me of the fisherman story that was relaxing on the beach that I'll put in the show notes if anyone's interested, because it's a bit of a long one. I feel like I may have told it to you before. But anyway.
Can you do a summary of it?
Yeah, so it's the fisherman's relaxing on the beach in the afternoon, just watching the waves go by, and I think it's like an American businessman comes over and says, "What are you doing? How's it going?" It's like, "Nothing, just chilling on the beach." He's like, "Why don't you go and fish some more?" He's like, "Well, I've already caught everything I need for the day." And he's like, "Well, you could go and catch some more and then sell it and save up some money." And he's like, and the fisherman asks, "And then what?" And he says, "Well, then you could save up and buy a bigger boat, and then you could be catching even more fish every day." And it goes on like this. And he's like, "Okay, and then he's like, "Well, then you could save up loads of money and retire early, and then you could just chill out." He's like, "That's what I'm doing anyway."
Right, exactly, totally. It's hilarious, right?
Yeah,
When it's all available right fucking now.
yeah.
It's all available right now. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, we have this idea of we do this now for the future, and it's so fucking ironic.
Yeah, like sometimes I have to pinch myself, like, oh my god, I'm actually already living the life that I've dreamed of, that I dream of right now,
Right.
that's perfect
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, of course. And then of course we can sometimes feel a little bit bored by it, like, eh. And this is when, I start to blow things up, and I say no to more things rather than yes to more things. I say no to more things, because as the kind of people who we are, and I guess the people who listen to this as well, they're people who they want they want to live, they want excitement in life. They don't, their biggest fear is monotony. And so even when we get the dream, it's not about what's next, because that can also be a cycle, like the carrot. But it's kind of this anticipation. When you're in that space, when you're in the sky, you have no fucking idea what's next. And this is what is so beautiful about it, Then even when you're at home reading your book or you're staring at the ceiling, there is this beauty because it's so transient and malleable and unimaginable, what could be next. And you don't really want to know, and you won't know when you're up there in the sky. And this is kind of what's exciting for us. We can say, oh yeah, I just want to know. No, you don't want to fucking know. Like, this is the beauty and the mystery. It's kind of like we don't read the last page of a book. I mean, I used to do this actually, but we don't. The beauty is about what is in each moment, not about the end. Yeah.
It's like you want every sentence to be poetical.
Vertical.
And then poetical.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
The whole roller coaster of the story that you're reading is enchanting.
Yes. It's like a song. The beauty of a song, you listen to a song not for the last note.
Yes.
It's for it's all the notes together.
Yeah.
That's what makes the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Well, we had no idea where this was going to go. I still don't quite know where it went. I enjoyed every second
to the sky.
To the skies, yes.
Yeah.
Conversations with you are always so inspiring for me. So thank you for all the nuggets of wisdom that you shared.
You're so welcome.
Yeah, and I hope that you guys listening, we're taking on a nice flight. And I see that the sun's gone down where you are.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Freya. And I'll, did you want to share about your offerings at the moment?
Sure. I mean, you can just find me on Instagram, Freya _savage_. I think maybe you put my spelling, I guess, in the name and the links. And I mean, I my signature program that I do is the School of Money. And then I also work one-on-one with people as well on their businesses. And I mean, you can see what I talk about. It's not really, I don't really have an elevator pitch. I'm not really into niching or anything. It's more, I'm a mirror for where you're at, and to get you into this place of, get you into the sky so you can experience the unimaginable. So you can have this, like, money's taken care of, business is taken care of, relationships are taken care of, but not in a way that's monotonous, in a way that's like, it's all fucking exciting and it turns you on, rather than this survival mode. So I guess, I mean, every time I talk about what I do, it's different. It's a different summary. So maybe just to follow me or reach out to me, and then you can, that's probably best. Then you can tell me what I do. And maybe I can use this next time in a more succinct way.
Okay, so we'll get some entries. You guys tell Freya what she does or what she did for you during this hour.
Yes, tell me that.
Yeah, I feel it was like that taken care of is like just such a deep trust in everything. It's like leaning into the trust, leaning into the unknown in every moment.
Yeah, totally.
And again, it's being selfish. Like, this conversation was for me because I love doing this, and maybe it will inspire some people along the way. Maybe it won't, but either way, I felt very alive. And yeah, thank you, Freya.
You're so welcome. Thank you. It was so much fun.
So much fun. I'll speak to you soon. I love you.
Speak to you
Goodbye,
soon.
listeners. Bye.
Bye.